Hi everybody, Crystal Kitsune here, and today we're playing a nice, calming little forest game called NIVA. In this game you are a god, a forest god, and your job is to protect the forest by using plants to help the forest, essentially. You start, doing simple stuff kind of, and it gets a little harder. It's essentially a puzzle game, and you go through and you play through and do puzzles with plants. So I'm gonna try to start this game. Doesn't have like a arrow key or anything. It wants you to play with the controller, so I'm going to try and play with the controller. Because that's actually better for me than trying to use the arrow keys and mouse and everything. So this is who you are. This is your guardian god. You're like half deer, half cat, kind of. And the job that you have is to, as best you can without fighting, because you're a pacifist, is to use nature to help others. So you see these things here. You have left trigger to wither or right trigger to nurture. So you want to get rid of these things, so you hit that and you get antlers and it gets rid of these plants. Now these ones up here, this one up here, since it's gold color or white color or whatever, you want to nurture this. So you hit this and it nurtures and it grows and it starts dropping fruit, and these creatures like you because you gave them fruit. I didn't get very far in this game, puzzle wise. I did do this just a little bit ago as a recording, but it was messing up for some reason. I don't know why, but I have it on the lowest setting possible, so it shouldn't do anything bad. If it does, there isn't anything I could do about it. So here's another one of these guys over here, so I'll nurture it, and I'll bring those guys from over there, I guess, over here. So they can get the fruit. These little peacock-tailed whatevers. So that's helping the forest. So we just helped the forest by feeding those little creatures. I don't think there's anything over here that we need. So I saw some of those briar bushes things over here, so we'll go over this direction. And we'll go to the next area. I mean, it's a very pretty game. I'll read the description for you so you can check it out. And this game here reminds me of a game that I played a long time ago that I was actually reminded of not that long ago. A game called The Endless Forest. If you've heard of it, it's still kind of up and running, essentially. The creators, I guess, because I made an account with them a very long time ago, I got an email from them saying that they're still trying to get that particular game up and running. I don't know if they're going to like redo the whole thing with better engines or whatever, or if they're going just to improve upon what they have already. But I got, things saying, oh, we're, trying to get this back up, if you can, consider donating, etc., etc. So, I can't donate right now, but I'll also give a link to that game if you want to look at it, because it's quite similar to this. Whereas this one is like puzzle games and stuff, like small puzzles that you have to try to figure out to try to save the forest. The Endless Forest is just kind of like you're running around, and it's not really puzzles so much. I think there's very minimal puzzleage in the Endless Forest, but you like do things, and they have like kind of like actions. So like in the Endless Forest, there is a fairy ring in there, and there's an option to lay down. And if you lay down long enough, then you get like an achievement, and you get flowers in your antlers. It's kind of a weird looking game. You're like kind of like deer creatures, but you're also don't have deer faces. You kind of have like mask faces. And the mask faces differ, I think, depending on what you've unlocked or whatever. So I'm not sure if that is still up and running as an actual game right now. Like, can you actually go and play the game still? Or, you know, is it down until they can get more people? I know there's a thing with these dudes. They're like alive. They're like breathing, but I don't know what to do with them. Unless I'm supposed to bring those vines to them. Ugh. But I mean, the puzzles are thought-provoking. Like, you have to kind of figure out what you need to do in order to fix things. And it's apparently a game that you have to do all in one shot. So I'm just gonna do like a little bit of it, and then, you know, go from... I probably won't continue this or make it a series or anything like that. It's kind of like a video that shows off the artwork and stuff, so you can see for yourself, you know, the aesthetics of it, and how nice it is, and how, you know, pretty it is. And that kind of stuff. So it's basically you have to finish one thing before you can, or finish one area essentially before you can move on to the next area. But I'll go ahead and show off the different areas, because I'm not really going to get much gameplay out of this game, because I'll need to, like, know what I'm doing, and take my time and think about it, which I don't really have much of that kind of time when I'm doing Let's Plays. I mean, I could break it down. I mean, if it had a save mechanic, I definitely would keep playing this, but since it doesn't, and you basically have to do it all together in one shot, it kind of like makes it to where you don't want to, you know, lose your progress and all that. So it's kind of sad that I'm not able to keep going with this. But apparently I'm doing right. I mean, I'm assuming I'm doing this right. I mean, there's nothing to indicate that you're doing something wrong, and there's nothing to indicate that you're, you know, on the right track. So it's basically kind of like, you don't know. I don't know if I'm doing this right or not. But I mean, it's very pretty. I like the artwork in it, and I like it's smooth, and, you know, it's not jittery or anything like that. The only thing that I have kind of upset about is that I played through all this already, and then when I went to go play it, it messed up my capture to where it was kind of laggy, and then I got problems with sync problems again. So I don't know what's that about. But I have it on the lowest setting, so, and even on the lowest setting, apparently it still looks really good, so. Oh, is this thing supposed to be? Oh. Nope, nope, no! Dang it, I'm gonna have to go back all the way over here and get back up there. See, this stuff here, I didn't actually figure out the first time I played it. The first time I recorded this. But this stuff here, I'm kind of figuring out that you have to come over here across this bridge thing. I think that thing that was in the air came over here to these guys. But now it's gone again. So I have no idea. I mean, it's like, there's all like gonna be like a lot of wandering around in this game until you figure out what you need to do, because there's so much going on that unless you know what you're doing, then you're just kind of like, eh? You know? So I'll just wander around here for a bit, and you can see all the different kind of areas and stuff. So you got the, oh, here's another one of these things. So I guess we'll go back this way. I guess you're limited as how far you can go with it. So you kind of have to plan where it is you need to go with the line. I'm assuming, because it doesn't do anything, so I'm thinking you have to know exactly where you need to go with it and then like plug it in or something, you know? Because it ends at a certain area, so you have to kind of like know where it is it needs to go and put it where it needs to be. So I wonder if I like draw it back or something. Okay, so that's drawing it back. What if I put it over here? To this guy. You not do anything? If I put your thingy there? I mean, it's just like a lot of like hit and miss of what you're supposed to do. And that guy that was over here left. So unless he went somewhere else, I have no idea where he went to. So. But I think I'm gonna probably go ahead and end this video here. I don't really want to wander around and do a lot of nothing in this game, because that's all I'm doing right now. I'm not really even solving any puzzles. I'm just sort of wandering around and looking at all the pretty scenery, which is not what you came here for. You came here for you know, gameplay. So I'm just gonna sit here and hit this button right here, and I'm going to pop this up so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so that's going to be NIVA. Ignore the clock because it's going off. That's going to be NIVA. It's a nice little time waster. It's not time waster, but I mean, you actually have to think of the puzzles and think of what you're doing. And when I read the description, it said it's going to probably take about 45 minutes to an hour if you don't know how to do the puzzles or don't know the puzzles. It doesn't give you any instructions on what to do except for like using the triggers, so it's a lot of trial and error. And since it doesn't have a same mechanic, unfortunately I can't come back to it and play more of it. But if you did like it, consider, you know, checking it out on the website to play and download it to play for yourself. And if you can, after you find out how much you love it, give a donation to the person who created it, because they work really hard to make these kind of games for us to play. So consider doing that. And if you like this video, make sure you give it a like and share with your friends. Be sure to check out my Twitter and Instagram. Also check out the website, because the link to that's in the description below. And if you go over here, there will be a video that YouTube suggests you check out. Here will be a video where you can go to subscribe if you haven't yet. And here, go over here to check out the merch store. There'll be a link there you can just click on, it'll take you right there. So I'll say thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.